It's 2:13 a.m. A baby stirs in a small apartment in Shanghai. Not crying yet, just shifting. Tiny sounds, a breath change, a slight arch in the back. The mother is already awake. She leans in, gently lifts the baby before a single cry escapes. Feeds, adjusts, rocks once. The baby settles. No noise, no struggle, no tears. If you walked in right now, you'd think this baby just doesn't cry. Now, if your baby cries a lot, this is the part where doubt creeps in. Am I missing something? Am I doing this wrong? But here's the truth most people won't say clearly. A crying baby doesn't mean you're failing. It means your baby is communicating in the only way they can. Crying isn't bad behavior. It's not manipulation. It's not even something to fix. It's a signal. A baby cries when something has already gone unmet. Hunger that built too long, discomfort that wasn't noticed early, overstimulation that crossed a threshold. By the time the crying starts, you're already late, not wrong, just late in the cycle. And that changes everything because most parenting advice focuses on this moment. The crying, how to stop it, how to soothe it, how to manage it. But what if that's the wrong place to focus? In many Chinese households, there's a different approach, a quiet, almost invisible system. It's often described through a mindset rooted in attentiveness and rhythm, similar to the idea of ting. Ting, meaning deep listening, not just hearing sound, but noticing subtle shifts, breathing, movement, energy. Instead of reacting to crying, parents are trained, often unconsciously, to anticipate needs before they escalate. The goal isn't to handle crying better, it's to prevent the need for crying in the first place. Picture this. A grandmother is holding a baby. The baby hasn't made a sound, but suddenly she adjusts her hold, switches sides, starts gently bouncing. Nothing dramatic happened, no cry, just a slight tension in the baby's body. She caught it early. Another moment. A father pauses mid-conversation, looks at the baby, then quietly says, "She's about to get uncomfortable." He checks the diaper. It's barely wet, but he changes it anyway. Still no crying. Or this. A baby starts to blink slower, turn their head slightly away from light. Before fussiness even begins, the parent dims the room, reduces stimulation. The baby drifts to sleep. No crying needed. Here's the part that feels almost backwards. The calmest babies aren't always the ones who cry less naturally. They're often the ones whose needs are met before they have to cry, which means crying isn't the problem. It's the late signal of a missed window. And this isn't just cultural philosophy. Developmental psychology supports this pattern. Infants don't have the neurological capacity to regulate themselves early on. They rely on co-regulation, which means the faster a caregiver responds to early cues, the less intense the baby's stress response becomes. Over time, babies who experience this cry less intensely, recover faster, develop more stable emotional regulation. Not because they were trained, but because they were understood early. But here's where it gets uncomfortable. This approach requires something most modern parenting advice doesn't emphasize: slowing down enough to notice. Because subtle cues are easy to miss when you're distracted, you're exhausted, you're waiting for a clear signal, and crying is the clearest signal. So naturally, that's what most parents respond to. But in this system, crying is almost treated like a last resort alert, not the starting point. So how do you actually use this? Without becoming overwhelmed, start small. Watch for pre-cry signals. Before your baby cries, there are usually patterns. Slower blinking, sudden stillness, small body tension, turning away. Pick just one of these to notice this week. Not all, just one. You don't need to become hyper-aware overnight. That's not realistic. You just need to become slightly earlier. 2. Shorten the response window. Instead of waiting to confirm a need, act on the possibility of a need. Feed a little earlier, adjust sooner, soothe before escalation. It might feel unnecessary at first, but that's the point. 3. Create predictable rhythms. Many Chinese parenting routines rely on consistency. Feeding times, sleep windows, activity patterns, not rigid schedules, but predictable flow, because when patterns are stable, needs are easier to anticipate. And no, this doesn't mean you need to catch everything perfectly. You won't. No parent does. But even noticing things a little earlier can change the entire emotional tone of your day and your baby's. So instead of asking, how do I stop my baby from crying? The question shifts to, what did my baby need before the crying started? That one shift changes everything, because now you're not reacting to noise, you're responding to communication. Maybe the goal was never to silence the cry, but to understand the moment that came just before it.